Hi, I'm Tammy from Happy Valley Quilting. The last video that I made for you was about a product from Guidelines for Quilting called Grip Strips. Well, they have a newer product out too. It's a seam guide setter. And the reason that I am demonstrating this today is that as quilters, we know that we need to have accurate seams and we need to have a 1/4 inch seam line. A lot of us have a 1/4 inch pressure foot attachments for our sewing machines, or we have set up some kind of guide on our sewing machine to have an accurate 1/4 inch seam. The problem with having an accurate 1/4 inch seam or an exact 1/4 inch seam is that when you press your seam on the back, when you press the extra fabric to one side, there's a little bit of bulk from the fabric itself and a little bit from the thread. So it actually ends up being slightly more than a 1/4 inch. So a lot of quilters, and myself included, like to sew with a scant 1/4 inch, but unfortunately, we don't have anything that sets up that scant 1/4 inch for us. So that's where Guidelines for Quilting have made the seam line, the seam setter. So it's actually a small piece that fits into your machine, and there are 6 reusable guides. The reason that they have the reusable guides, if you decide you don't want to use a 1/4 inch seam, maybe you're sewing clothes that have a different seam allowance, or you're free motion quilting on your machine, you don't want that guide getting in the way. So these are removable, reusable, and they do make refills in case you've used all 6. So the way that the seam guide works, there's a small slit at the top. You put your needle in the down position, slide it the whole way into that slot. Make sure that the guide is aligned parallel to the edge of your machine. And then one of the guides fits into this slot wherever it's accurate for your machine. So we'll just go ahead and get ready and show you right on our machine to show you how it works. So now that we're down here with the sewing machine, there are some things that you might not be able to see on the camera because they're embossed and not printed, but there is a dashed line to show you what your scant 1/4 inch would end up being. But we're gonna hold this, we're gonna drop down our needle or turn your needle down. So it's in the down position. You kind of hook this around your needle so that that needle goes into that slot till it is the entire way into the slot. And you're gonna make sure that it's lined up and it's nice and straight. And then you're gonna take your Guideline for Quilters seam guide, peel the adhesive back off, make sure it's lined up again. I moved it a little, and just stick it down in that slot, just like that. And then you can just lift your guide out, and now you have an accurate 1/4 inch seam guide. And again, they're removable, so you can peel them back up, and it's not gonna hurt anything. But we'll let that down there for now. So it's really easy to use, and it will give you that accurate 1/4 inch seam. We have them available at happyvalleyquilting.net, and it is also made in the USA. So you can find the seam guide setter and several other notions and tools on my site. I sell reproduction fabrics and patterns and a few notions and tools here and there. The ones that I sell are the tools and notions that I don't sew without, that you can find them in my quilt room any given day because I use them all the time. So check out my site, happyvalleyquilting.net, and look for the seam guide setter and many other useful tools, notions, and reproduction fabrics and patterns.